Hey guys, Dom Chicks. We are going to play with some old computers. Okay, we have the Dell Optiplex 390 here. Core i5 in them, and they have Windows 7. So how you open these is lift this, just like that. And there's what you find inside. This looks like 1 stick of RAM, probably 4. What is it, 4 gig? Yeah, okay, 4 gig of RAM. Let me put this down a second. Nasty inside. Dirty, 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 dirty. Stock cooler. You see that? There's that other card. I wonder if the CMOS battery is toast. We'll find out. Hard drive. We got a hard drive, and it has an optical drive. Power supply. That's pretty much it. So, my first thought is to hook it up and see if it will boot before I do anything to it. I'm going to see if it'll boot, and we're going to see if the hard drive has anything on it. It's possibly wiped. That's just nasty. Nasty. I think the hard drive has probably been wiped, but we'll check anyway. So first thing I'm going to do is hook it up and let's boot it up and see what happens. Let's plug this in and see if it works. Power plug. And you can see the motherboard reacts to that. Just a quick burst and then it shuts down. It's also got the light indicating it's on. We're going to hook up keyboard and mouse. We're going to hook up the HDMI connector. And we're going to hook up this other the VGA. I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Number one, I know for a fact, because I've done this before, it's not going to boot because it thinks this needs to be in use. Let's give this a shot. Go there. Now, let's turn the switch. Right there. We have power. We have life. There we go. It took it. Yes, but it does say, action required. This computer has an add-on graphics card, but the monitor is plugged into the integrated video connector. Shut down the computer, plug in the cable, blah, 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 turn on the computer. That's because we're not using the add-on card. So what we're going to do is, because we have this type and I don't have one of those monitors handy, I'm going to go ahead and disable that by taking it out. Let's do that. First, I'm going to shut off everything. Unplug power, like that. You see the light's still on the board though, so the board still has a little residual power. Hold the power button down until it fades away. There it goes. I can do this with one hand. Push this button in and open that up, just like that. Now that that's open, you can see this is totally free here. There's no screw in it or anything. It's just got a pin in it. So, over here, push this down. Down. You see this little lever down here now is down, which means I can just jiggy this out of the slot. There we go. Sorry, there we go. Boy, is that dirty. Boy, is that dirty. You want some real dirt? Look at that. Now, plug it back in. A little bit of foof there. Stops. Power's good. Now let's hit that power button again. Let's see what happens now. Hey. Let's see if we go far. Now it should tell me that we don't have, we do not have no boot device, as it says. No boot device found. Press any key to reboot the machine. Knew that was going to happen. They have wiped the hard drive. So let's do our next step, which is power it off yet again. You see it shuts down. Take your USB, which I pre-installed with Windows 10. Stick it in there. Go back, hit the button again, start the computer. She takes off. Let's see what happens now. It should boot to the USB. Give it a second. There it is. There you go. So now what it'll do is it will start going through the installation process for Windows 10. Yes, we'll say yes to English. We'll say install now. We don't want to repair the computer. There's no operating system on it. We want to install. Starting setup. Now, this is the fun part. Anybody can get a copy of Windows, but you can't get a registered copy of Windows unless you have a key. We have the key on this one. It's down here, right here. So I'm going to copy that into here, and then we will continue. And it should take it no problem. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to load, a couple of things. Number one, I'm loading this and putting it all on here and getting it going before I even clean it, because I want to make sure it runs. And I want to make sure once I install Windows 10, although it's only got 4 gig of RAM, I want to make sure it still runs before I go to the trouble of cleaning it and everything. So once we get this loaded, get it, make sure it's installed properly. I don't have any internet connection out here, and this does not have a Wi-Fi card in it to do the updates that are probably, there's always updates to get that going. But I will get it inside and hook it up to Ethernet, to hook it up to the modem, and then I will finish that as well. But I think what we're going to do is wait now and get this installed. It's at 38%. 38%. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this installed, and then we're going to figure out what we do next with it. Stay tuned. And through the magic of video editing, we're just about there. So we've got, sorry about that. We've got the option for United States. Why, that would be fine. And the US again, fine. We don't want to add a second layout, so we'll skip that. For keyboard, not going to connect to a network. I don't have one out here, and I don't have a network or a Wi-Fi card in this computer. Alright, there's more to discover when you connect to the internet. That's alright. We're going to continue with the limited for right now. Alright, we're going to call this computer user, because it's a nice simple name. And that way people can change it if they buy it or whatever. Hit next. Password, leave it blank. You don't want to have to worry about telling somebody, oh, the password for this is such and such. Next thing I do is, I'm sorry about the glare on that. I do realize now that there's glare on the screen. We're going to shut everything off. Location, diagnostic data, all this stuff. Find my device, inking and typing, advertising ID. People can turn it back on if they want it. I just prefer to have it off. Cortana, not now, thank you. There we go. And now it'll go through its little, hi, we're getting everything ready for you. So we'll come back when that's done. So, here we are. That's a very odd angle, sorry about that. Here we are. Don't worry about the lines of the screen if you're seeing those. This is the monitor's problem. It's not the video card's problem. It does this monitor's. That's why it's out in the garage. Alright, we're not getting started. Maybe later. We're not going to let it look for drivers or anything. So as you can see, it's a nice clean install of Windows. Now I go to you can go to settings and get this. I usually go this way just because I like to see what else is on the drive while I'm here. Make sure it's registering the DVD. And there's a USB drive, which is the install media. If I pull this out, that should disappear. Haha, there you go. Alright, so local disk. It is pretty much wiped clean, and it has just Windows on it, nothing else, which is nice. So then I go to computer up here, I hit system properties, and it will tell me everything about this computer that I really care about. It is Intel Core i5, 3.2 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM, which we know. It has a 64-bit operating system and a x64-based processor. It also has Windows 10 Pro on it, because the license that I used from the side of it, or on the top actually, the license I used for Windows 7 was Windows 7 Pro. So this automatically went over to Windows 10 Pro. You can look up what the difference between Windows Home and Windows Pro is. There's subtle differences. But nothing to worry about. It's not like you're going to miss out if you don't have Pro, unless there's certain things you want to do with it. Alright, so that's it for that. Now that I know it works, it functions, and it boots. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to do one restart, just to make absolutely positively sure. And we'll see how long it takes to restart and go into Windows 10. Like I said, I pulled the boot USB out, the Windows 10 install USB, so it should go right to the hard drive and pull up Windows 10. There we go. It's running fine off of the motherboard graphics. Power supply seems to be doing fine. There we go. It's going to go in now. And it gets a mechanical hard drive, so it's not going to boot super fast. There you go. Okay guys, we're outside, the sun is going down, I'll show you that in a minute, and we are going to take this puppy and blow it out now that we know that it will run and has Windows 10 on it and stuff. So here we go. Switch out. Here we go. See, sun's going down. Here we have our beast. I'm doing this outside because I don't want all my dust and shit inside. Ryobi blower has 3 different power settings. That's lovely. And now we get to bring it inside and get hooked with the internet, update all the updates that need to be done that we couldn't do with just the thumb drive, and get it to where it belongs. Here we go. Okay guys, this is where you're going to have to deal with voiceover because I ended up having music playing during this and I don't want a copyright strike. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm taking some alcohol, which is just in spray form. Contact cleaner is basically what it is, but it spray alcohol. Using a Q-tip to get the old thermal paste off. And I do this because usually in machines that are this old, the thermal paste is dry and it will not transfer the heat like it should to the cooling fan. And then I clean this cooling fan side as well. As you can see here, it's caked on pretty heavy. It's just coming off like in solid pieces with this Q-tip. But this is definitely something you should do if you're going to recondition computers or refurbish them, I guess, because you want to make sure that it's going to be able to cool sufficiently and not cause a problem in overheating and make it, throttle down the processor. So I'm taking the Q-tip and cleaning this off as well. Okay, now that we've got that nice and clean and shiny, we're going to replace the processor, get it back in and clipped in so it fits in there nice. Made sure that none of the pins were bent. We did this. This retention clip comes down, holds it in tight. Kind of hard to get in, but there you go. And then we go ahead and I put the thermal paste on it. I'm not showing that, sorry. But then I go ahead and tighten down the cooling fan with and taking it and doing it and alternate between the corners to kind of squish that paste down nice and even. We also end up replacing the CMOS battery. It shows you here. And I'm showing here the RAM that I ordered because we want to bring this up from 4 gig to 8 gig before I try to sell it, and make sure that people know that it's at least capable of running Windows 10 without an issue. If anybody wants to use this for a gaming computer or something, they can go ahead and order more RAM. Two hip kicks.